All right, welcome to episode 151 of My Ex Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there's different mediums to view or listen to this content, mostly the blog. And I want you to go to the blog this time, okay? myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, because there's something I definitely want you to see. And I know not everyone's going to watch it, but there will be some people who will watch it and you'll be glad that you did watch it. All right. So that's myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, and wherever you are enjoying this content, if there's a more info, open, intro, description, if there's a button of that type where you are, click on that and another box opens and it'll have a link to the blog. Okay, so everywhere that I post on my FX Buddies. And yeah, so Spotify.com has me there. They have audio, video, Apple Podcasts, my FX Buddies. Let's see, RSS.com, my FX Buddies. All right, so there's rumble.com, and so yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Today is Sunday, December 29th. It's late. The day got away from me. Football was really good. But it's early enough where this should post for Sunday, December 29th. Okay, this is a major article. Goodbye dollar auction. Central bank announces the end of 20 years of billions and suspicions. But guess what? They had an auction today. Indeed they did. Let's see. I was going to have it open. There's a lot I'm going to show you from the CBI website. There. Currency selling window, 12/29, 2024. Almost 300 million. Most of it was transferred abroad. 28 billion. Did I say million? 28 million was cash that stays in the country. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe it was the last one. Who knows? But it was a big deal. Even though this article isn't everywhere, like when they really want the citizens to see something, the same article will be posted on many different sites, sometimes even chopped up in shorter versions, even though it's not that long. So I posted it, and look, see how it's red? They even had that. I didn't do that. They did that. But look at this picture here. So this could have been from Friday when they had the party. This is inside the CBI. And this is Aaliyah Locke. And he's holding a blown up, I don't know what note that is, but it is one they show a lot. So those of you who've been listening to me for years, you know that I've been saying sometimes they show this like 20-minute program, and it shows all the money. I think it starts from the 30s, 1932, 30 something, and they show all the money and who was in power in the Americas, right, in America and Iraq at that time. And then it cuts right after they show the new notes, the ones they're currently using now, which you can see are up here. So they're blown up big. That's the 25K note. That's probably the 1,000, and that's probably the 5,000. But it won't be long, and the images that are going to be up here are going to be the new notes. But yeah, so they were showing this this note. But anyway, so they said, what will happen on Sunday? And I said, don't get too excited. Oops, well, I left a letter out. They had an auction today. So this is the major focus of today. So let's read this. The matter has been settled. Iraq will no longer offer its precious dollars. Are they precious? I would think the dinar would be precious, right? But whatever. In the controversial dollar auction, or what was called the foreign currency sales window, and the electronic platform. So see, it had, because it started one way and then it went electronic. So after 20 years, after 20 years since the start of this procedure, blah, 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 this guy confirmed that the dollar platform has become closed in compliance with the date set by the governor to close it at the end of 2024. So it could be that today was the last one, except I'm going to show you something put out by the CBI. Khalaf denied all rumors about the possibility of extending the platform's work and spoke with great positivity, reassuring the market and consumers that the overwhelming majority of traders have already adapted to the new system in which the central bank does not provide direct dollars to traders. But what will happen? All right, so you could read that. So it's just saying it's done. It's going to end. We said it. That's it. It's final. Also, I know someone put out, oh, tomorrow Iraq's only going to deal with, what's another commercial banks, but it's not commercial banks. It's correspondent banks, which are banks in other countries that are qualified. They go through this new system where they're audited before, right? That's what the new system is. So they're not completely wrong. I mean, correspondent, commercial, whatever. But that's the proper name, because they're also private banks, and the local Iraqi banks just got set up to work in the new system also, right? So it's not. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up. And transfers are made by strengthening the balances of Iraqi banks, and 90% of transfers are now made according to the new mechanism. This will be noticeable during the first days of the new year. Now, mind you, January 1 is a holiday everywhere. Nothing gets done. January 1st is a holiday around the world, right? And nothing gets done. Everyone's shut down. Banks are down. Everything's down. It looks like January 2 is also going to be a holiday in Iraq. However, okay, this will be noticeable during the first days of the new year. So it don't expect, let me see. Give it more time. Don't go, oh, it's the first. It's going to happen. Today's the day. No, because it's a holiday. Nothing's going to happen on the first. Right? Okay, except football and people eating black-eyed peas and greens to bring in a prosperous new year. I'm sorry, forgive me. Okay, I know that's why I irritate some people. All right, so give it time. 3rd, 4th, 5th. I gave it to the 7th. And remember, Parliament doesn't come back till the 9th. And they're probably, even if they come back on that day, they're not going to do anything on that day. Not anything substantial. Some of them probably won't even show up. Anyway, okay. So, however, he left the door open to the possibility of a very slight and ineffective decline in the central bank sales. Yeah. So, whatever. Okay. Now, before I move on, let me show you here. The Central Bank of... Okay, well, here, let's start with this one. Oh, I don't have it in English, but remember I told you they put out instructions on merging. um, the A and B banks, but the C level exchangers, they want them to merge with the A and B exchanger or business, whatever. And remember I said there was 4 pages, 3 of what they need to comply with and send in. Yeah, I didn't translate that. But so you see that, right? That's there. Let's see, which one is this? Oh, yeah, that's the same thing. Okay. Today, this came out. The Central Bank of Iraq has decided to approve granting an additional period for all foreign currency brokerage companies of Category C to merge to be within Categories A and B until March 31st. You can click here. Oh, and here's the document. And you can see it says 331. So, I don't know. Are they extending the time? Or that is just giving those currency exchangers more time to get in line to participate? I don't know. But I know no one else is going to talk about that because they want to just talk about what's happening now. All right. This article, I just think it's an interesting time to share this. And I know some people are going to like this. In numbers, the decline in the value of the Iraqi dinar. So it came out Friday. It's an economic expert determined how much the Iraqi dinar has lost in value. And there's numbers here. The value of any currency is determined based on 2 basic factors, which are the amount of currency issued, which is the total cash pumped by the central bank, and the size of reserves, which includes foreign currencies, investments, and gold and investments held by the central bank. The situation at the end of 2023, the amount of currency issued was 101 trillion dinars, and the value was 145 trillion Iraqi dinars. Then, at the end of 2024, it was 101 trillion dinars, and the value was 139.7. So who knows what numbers he used, where he got them. The reason why I kind of glaze over when they talk about numbers is there was a time when Iran had printing, the mechanism, the little thingies, machine, whatever, and they could print the dinar. Now, we do think they were taken away. Some people think they were taken away or given back or whatever. But so were they counting that dinar that Iran was printing? I don't know. But there's just so much uncertainty and different reportings. I don't hold too tightly to numbers that they put out, right? Okay, so here, let's see. Expert central bank decisions threaten banking sector and stability of national economy. So this is the guy Mustafa Hantoush, who's very critical of the CBI. And let's see. Hantoush said the recent decisions of the Central Bank of Iraq, which included stopping the financial transfer platform and handing over the management of the Iraqi dollar to 4 banks owned by investors, some of which belong to countries such as Jordan and the Gulf, constitute serious repercussions. So he's still mad. He still doesn't have all the details of how the change is going to take place. So it's not surprising to me that he put this out. He pointed out these policies may lead to the collapse of the Iraqi banking system and the exacerbation of economic crisis, noting that more than 100,000 jobs in private banking sector are threatened with loss in favor of foreign banks, which constitutes a major blow to banking autonomy. So, yeah, You could read that if you want, but he's just saying, yeah, okay, you handed over, we're on this new system, but we need more. And they do. They need to change the rate and they need to put new notes out. Or exactly what he said is going to happen. That's my opinion. Sudani got invited to go to Japan. Here's another thing people are going to read. I just kind of glazed over. The central bank announces the positive indicators achieved in the third quarter of 2024. So, these are good things. Some of them are things that happen for the first time. So for those whiners who say there's nothing different, it's all the same, you should go and read this article and see things are different. All right. Parliamentary move towards the central bank regarding the dollar exchange rate. Who is this? This is Jamal Cougar. He's another one that doesn't get all the information, and I think he's a little sour about it. But so they're saying, look, if the rate continues to fluctuate, we're going to bring in a lock for questioning. So, economic advisor Mohammed Saleh, our country is ranked 9th in the world in natural resources. Okay, so that's one article where they're talking about, well, listen to this. He says, what the economic policy in our country aspires to is thinking outside the box and providing sustainability in the current account surplus of the Iraqi balance of payments. So then they go on, they talk about establishing a sovereign wealth fund, blah, 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 right? All this stuff we've heard before, but it's interesting. Again, they're talking about this right when we're thinking they're going to change their rate, right? And there's people who say, well, they don't have the whatever to back up. They can't pay out all this money, right? You know those arguments. You've heard those. So here's one article where they're talking about all the resources they have. And then behind that, central bank records significant growth in Iraq's gold reserves. Remember when I read that other article? I emphasized gold. So here we are. We have them showing all the reserves they hold, everything you can think of, because that was a blessed land, right? And yeah, it hasn't been totally exploited, and they're wiser now. Sudani talks about partnership, right? No, we're going to partner. You're going to pay us. You're going to come take our stuff, but you're going to pay us for our stuff, right? So there's all those numbers again that I just kind of glaze over. All right. Development Bank announces the opening of its 31st branch in Baghdad. So they're opening new banks for what? A step that reflects our aspirations for continuous growth and expanding the scope of our banking services to reach more of our valued customers. All right. Here, Sudani, it's rumored, right, that Sudani's going to go visit Iran soon. Here's my buy me a cup of coffee. Okay, central bank decision threatened. Oh, I put this article here twice. Okay, so skip that. Now this is interesting. It's a document, exceptional measures to provide dollars for travelers during the New Year's holiday. All right, so Central Bank of Iraq announced on Monday. Now, why does it say Monday and it's dated today? I don't know, but that's what it says. So they announced on Monday that it has accepted banks' requests to provide dollars to travelers during the New Year's holiday. A document issued by the CBI, which I'm going to show you, in order to provide cash liquidity in U.S. dollars for travelers on New Year's holiday, January 1, and the banking holiday on January 2. So see, the first is a holiday and the second is a holiday. And banking holiday nonetheless. Requests from banks and exchange companies will be accepted from the cash sales window. That's what they were just saying they closed as of today. The document continued, the sale will be on December 30th and 31st exclusively after the bank or company sells and registers no less than 50% of its last share received through the FITR. Usually that is all in capitals and parentheses. The platform instead of 80%. Now, I don't fully understand what that means, but it sounds like they have to show that they've depleted their backup stash. I know there's a more professional word. Supply. That's what it seems it's saying. They'll be there and they'll sell you dollars, but you're going to have to show that you're really running out. But it's only 50%, where normally it's 80%. This time it's 50%. It is noteworthy that the central bank had previously announced its intention to stop the electronic platform for selling the dollar at the end of this year, and thus dealing will be direct between banks and correspondent banks to sell the dollar and financing foreign trade. So it seems this will just be an exception. So we'll see if they'll document how many dollars were sold. If they do, it should be a lot less. I mean, like a fraction, right? So I'll be watching. I'll probably do a blog tomorrow. Maybe we'll get some good news. I don't know. So here's the document. Look how funny. They show the person taking a picture of the document. The shadows there. But this is what it says. So to all these banks and exchange companies, greetings. Offer to provide U.S. dollar cash to travelers during the New Year's holiday 1/1/2025 and the holiday 1/2/2025 bank holiday. Banks and exchange companies request to purchase dollars from the cash sales window for the days 30 and 31 will be accepted exclusively after the bank or company sells and registers no less than 50% of the last share received. See how they normally write that way? Instead of 80%. With appreciation, that guy, whoever he is. Yeah, so we could see 2 more auctions that are exceptions, right? So, all right. This is so cool. I know not everyone's going to watch it, but you really should. So these kids here, teenagers, I swear this one, she seems like she might be 10 or 11 years old. So Tabaqchali, I think he owns part of the ISX. I'm not sure, but he's rich. And they have, if you watch, it's a 33-minute video in English, okay? And I have the video here. That's why I said you might want to go here. But she's in Hong Kong. He's in, and the 2 guys I think are in Iraq, and the girls are in Hong Kong. And then he was wherever he was. So it's just amazing. So they, I guess these 4 kids have a show, AI for Iraq, and they got to interview him. I mean, he's not like a celebrity or anything, but he's super rich, okay? And you could just see the pride on his face when they're reading. They ask really good questions, and he's like, wow, that's a really good question. And you could just see the pride on his face, like, look at what my young Iraqi children, I guess, are doing. Even though, like I said, one of them is in Hong Kong, and I think one of them is in Singapore, whatever. But they are Iraqi. So yeah, so here's some key points from the interview, but you really should go watch that. I have it there on the blog, and it's in English. All right. The last, is that it? I think that's the last. Yeah, that's the last article. So yeah, so it's pretty quiet over the weekend. There's still like aggressive maneuver stuff going on. Not too much. I didn't see the Houthi man on TV yelling. Um, what's his name? Netanyahu announced he has some kind of cancer. Did you see that? Um, and they met a couple of people, like country leaders, met with the Syrian leader, the guy that we're trying to push, and it was noticeable that he had some kind of gun in his back pocket. I said, "Oh, old habits are hard to break." Oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said that word. But anyway, yeah, and so he had a bulge in his back pocket or the back, however you put one of those, pew pews. I have no knowledge, right, except what they show you on TV or movies or whatever, which is that real? Who knows? But I don't blame him. I mean, he doesn't know who's gonna try to come hurt him or not. I think it would take a while because we had him as a top, he was I can't even say that word, on the list of supposed bad people, right? And even Iraq had a warrant out for his arrest just not too long ago. And now all of a sudden I'm supposed to trust that you're going to work with me and make me the in charge of this country? I don't know. But yeah, so that was interesting to see that. Yeah. So the next 3 days, many of the governments have already made the next 3 days a holiday. So I just showed you even January 2nd is a holiday. So it may be really quiet, or maybe we'll get another article like the one today where they showed them at the CBI looking at old notes. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. Um, I'm looking forward to 2025 regardless. And yeah, so what do I say? Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. If there's a like, subscribe, join, follow, whatever type of button like that, click that because I do not what is it? Upload or whatever regularly. So that way, if you subscribe or whatever, when I do post, if all things work like they're supposed to, you'll be updated. And yeah, all right. So thank you. Oh, and I'm going to get to the comments. YouTube is weird about, or I have to figure out how they list the comments. Sometimes they show one place, but they don't show somewhere else. And so I'm going to try to respond. Actually, after I upload this one, yeah. So thank you. I always like I like most of the comments. But I'm open to people having different views because until this happens, we're all just speculating, right? All right. So thank you again, and until next time. What is that?